from becoming a Modi critic to becoming a Modi supporter. You've explained how it happened because it was organic, what you say.
Yeah.
But if you see the timeline, in many of them say that the reason is because the lieutenant governor granted prosecution against you, against you, because of your tweets about the army.
Yeah.
And in 2023, you and Shah Faisal, you withdrew pleas against the abrogation of 370.
Yeah.
For our expat viewers and listeners, Shah Faisal is an Indian bureaucrat from Kashmir who resigned from government service in 2019, citing unabated killings in Kashmir. His resignation wasn't accepted and he was reinstated in government service in 2022. But between this period, he, along with Shaila, who's our guest today, formed a political party in Kashmir, and that seems like it was a non-starter. So back to you, Shaila. In August 2023, you started praising the centre and the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir in particular. You've explained as to how the change of heart happened. What do you say to critics who say that this deeper connection is superficial? Use your word superficial. That the deeper connection is superficial. It's because of legal issues that you were mired under.
So two things. First of all, I started supporting some of the executive actions into 2020, which is the pandemic year. So at that time, I had supported the lockdown, and because I hadn't made any overt overtures towards the government or whatever, I was still surrounded by an echo chamber that immediately shut me down. They were like, "Oh, why are you supporting the government?" And it was then that I realized for the very first time in 2020 that a lot of the criticism that we do, a lot of the criticism of the governments, is for the sake of it. And that's where I come again to the point of polarization, that just because Mr. Modi is doing something, we have to oppose it.
We bole to Kashmiris
Or we bole the left narrative, the left liberal ecosystem, opposition, whatever you want to call it, critical. Let's just call it, people who are critical of the government.
The echo chamber that you're talking about.
Yes. I was very much part of that echo chamber. Yet, I still saw, in countries like Sweden, etc., where the governments did lock down, people protested against it. They said, no, you cannot lock down because citizens' rights, democracy, etc. And in the US, where the Trump administration did not lock down. Teachers, you must have seen some of the posts by teachers. They were saying, you are sending us to the death row by not shutting down, right? So what was the choice with the government in 2020? To shut down or to not shut down? So I think it was a classic damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for a government. And I feel that the government had no choice but to lock down, right? But there was this entire conspiracy theory around it. There were a lot of conspiracy theories around, the pandemic. Like one of the conspiracy theories was that, this is part of some global push for financialization, towards a cashless economy, greater financialization. It's a big corporate. So, British political conspiracy theorist David Icke, I listened to him also at that time. And he said that this is nothing, COVID is nothing, but it's just a global, sort of conspiracy theory to push financialization. And we used to think in India, and I must admit I'm one of those people who would say that, this digital is, Digital India is just part of that greater push for financialization. UPI is just part for that, and it's going to help the bigger corporates. But what did I actually see? I actually conducted field work. And I saw, because my research is on the political experience of digitality in India. And I conducted field work, and I realized that, the evidence on the ground does not support that conspiracy theory that COVID is a push for financialization across the world, etc. It doesn't support that. And UPI is not part of that, because UPI is not helping the bigger corporates, or it is not helping the already creditworthy. It's actually helping build creditworthiness for a population which is hitherto unbanked. It has helped the greengrocers. It has helped the hawkers, the coconut vendors, the chapri walas. There's a girl who is, giving this home beauty services during COVID because all the beauty parlors were shut down. It is helping her. So it's actually making our population bankable. It is not comparable to the credit card movement in the West, because the credit card rests on the assumption of, the credit card needs creditworthiness. You can't just get a credit card. That's not the case with UPI. It's not pushing that. It's actually making our population bankable. And this is when, in 2020, this is when I started realizing that some of the things that we say do not add up. So frankly, Smita, I had to give up, those ideologies and those prisms, which neither had explanatory power nor predictive power. So I had to give up those deterministic kind of narratives, which neither had any explanatory power, not nor predictory power anymore. So I had to give up those kind of discourses, and I had to step outside of the echo chamber, and I had to look at things from my own perspective.